Imagine a world where one single building held almost all of human knowledge, a place where the greatest minds gathered, pushing the boundaries of science, art, and philosophy. This wasn't a fantasy, it was real. It was the Great Library of Alexandria, and its story is one of breathtaking ambition and heartbreaking loss. Today, we're going to journey back in time to explore the rise and fall of this legendary center of learning. Founded in the early 3rd century BCE in the bustling city of Alexandria, Egypt, by Ptolemy I, a successor to Alexander the Great, the library was more than just a collection of books. It was a bold declaration, an attempt to gather all the knowledge of the world under one roof. Think of it as the ancient world's internet, a physical hub for every scroll, every idea, every discovery. The scale was mind-boggling. At its peak, estimates suggest the library housed anywhere from 400,000 to 700,000 papyrus scrolls. Every ship that docked in Alexandria's port was searched. Any books found on board were seized, taken to the library, copied by professional scribes, and then the copies were returned to the owners. The originals? They stayed in the library. This aggressive acquisition policy shows just how serious they were about their mission. These scrolls covered everything imaginable: groundbreaking works on mathematics and astronomy, detailed medical texts, epic poems from Greece, philosophical treatises that would shape Western thought for millennia, and detailed maps of the known world. It was a treasure trove of human intellect. But the library wasn't just a warehouse for scrolls. It was part of a larger research institution called the Mauseon, or Temple of the Muses. This was a revolutionary concept. It was essentially the world's first major think tank. The Ptolemaic rulers funded the Mauseon, inviting the most brilliant scholars, scientists, poets, and thinkers from across the Hellenistic world to live and work there. They were given free board, lodging, and a salary, with only one expectation: to pursue knowledge. This created an unparalleled intellectual environment. Scholars could debate, collaborate, and access a wealth of resources that was simply unavailable anywhere else on Earth. It was in this vibrant atmosphere that some of humanity's greatest intellectual leaps were made. Let's talk about some of the superstars who walked its halls. You've heard of Euclid, right? The father of geometry? His work, Elements, which formed the basis of mathematics for over 2,000 years, was likely compiled and taught within the library's sphere of influence. Then there was Eratosthenes, the head librarian, a true polymath. He wasn't just organizing scrolls, he was changing our perception of the planet. Using simple geometry and observations of shadows in 2 different cities, he calculated the circumference of the Earth with astounding accuracy, getting it to within a few % of the value we know today. Think about that for a moment. Over 2,000 years ago, without any modern technology, a man figured out how big our planet was. He also created the first world map incorporating parallels and meridians and developed a system for cataloging the vast collection of scrolls, a foundational act of library science. Another giant associated with the library is Archimedes, the legendary inventor and mathematician. While he was based in Syracuse, his works were certainly held and studied in Alexandria, and he corresponded with the scholars there. His discoveries in physics and engineering, like the principle of buoyancy and the invention of the Archimedean screw, were part of the incredible scientific dialogue centered around the library. We also have figures like Hero of Alexandria, an engineer who created the first known steam engine, called an aeolipile, and Ctesibius, who invented the water clock and the water organ. The library was a place where theory met practice, where abstract thought led to incredible inventions. The medical school was also renowned, with figures like Herophilus and Erasistratus performing pioneering work in anatomy, even conducting dissections to better understand the human body, a practice that was taboo in many other parts of the world. The Library of Alexandria was not just preserving knowledge, it was actively creating it. So, what happened? How could such a beacon of enlightenment just disappear? This is where the story gets murky, and the popular image of a single, catastrophic fire burning everything at once is, well, mostly a myth. The decline and destruction of the library wasn't a single event but a slow, painful death by 1,000 cuts, stretched over several centuries. The first major blow came in 48 BCE during Julius Caesar's civil war in Alexandria. While pursuing his rival Pompey, Caesar set fire to ships in the harbor. The fire spread and likely destroyed a warehouse adjacent to the library that stored scrolls, possibly tens of thousands of them. This was a significant loss, but it wasn't the end. The main library likely survived, albeit damaged. In the centuries that followed, the library faced a new set of threats: budget cuts and political instability. As the Ptolemaic dynasty weakened and Roman influence grew, funding for the Mauseian and its scholars dwindled. The intellectual climate shifted. A decree in the 2nd century BCE by Ptolemy VIII expelled all foreign scholars from Alexandria, scattering the intellectual community that had been the library's lifeblood. This brain drain was arguably as damaging as any fire. Further destruction occurred during the wars of the 3rd century CE. The city of Alexandria was a battleground, and the area where the library was located was heavily damaged during conflicts under the Roman Emperor Aurelian. By the 4th century, the Roman Empire was undergoing a massive cultural and religious transformation with the rise of Christianity. In 391 CE, the pagan Serapeum Temple in Alexandria, which housed a daughter library with a substantial collection of its own, was destroyed by a Christian mob under the direction of the Patriarch Theophilus. While this wasn't the Great Library itself, it represented a symbolic and devastating blow against the old pagan centers of learning. By this point, the main library was likely a shadow of its former self, neglected and its collections dispersed or decayed. The final, definitive end probably came with the Muslim conquest of Egypt in 642 CE. There's a famous, but likely apocryphal, story about the Caliph Omar ordering the scrolls to be used as fuel for the city's bathhouses, saying, "If these books agree with the Quran, they are redundant. If they disagree, they are heretical." Most historians today view this story as a later fabrication, but it captures the spirit of the changing times. The age of the great pagan libraries was over. The knowledge wasn't just burned, it faded away through war, political turmoil, religious intolerance, and simple neglect. The loss of the Library of Alexandria is one of the greatest what ifs in human history. What knowledge was lost forever? What scientific discoveries were set back by centuries? We know of books that were cited by ancient authors but have never been found, like a complete history of the world by the Babylonian priest Berossus or the full plays of Greek tragedians like Sophocles, of which we only have a handful. Imagine losing 90% of Shakespeare's works. That's the scale of loss we are talking about for some ancient authors. Perhaps there were scrolls that detailed astronomical observations that could have revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos far earlier, or medical techniques that were forgotten and had to be rediscovered. It's a haunting thought. The loss symbolizes the fragility of knowledge and the danger of concentrating it all in one place. It serves as a powerful reminder that progress is not inevitable and that what is built can be unbuilt. Yet, the legacy of the library is not just one of loss. It is also one of inspiration. The idea of the Library of Alexandria has echoed through the ages, becoming a powerful symbol for the universal human quest for knowledge. It represents the dream of a world where learning is valued above all else, where collaboration transcends borders, and where the collective wisdom of humanity is preserved and shared. Every library, every university, every online database, in a way, is a descendant of Alexandria's grand experiment. The internet itself, with its goal of making information accessible to everyone, is the closest we've come to rebuilding the library on a global, digital scale. The story of the library teaches us a dual lesson: to cherish and protect our centers of knowledge, and to never stop striving for that ambitious, beautiful goal of understanding our world. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the past. The Library of Alexandria may be gone, but its spirit lives on in our endless pursuit of knowledge. If you enjoyed this exploration, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into history. Let me know in the comments what historical mystery you'd like to see me cover next. Thanks for watching.